How you think determines how you feel. How you feel determines how you behave. And how you behave ultimately determines what you become. So think right. Today is the 17th day of December 2021. And I'm speaking to you from the beautiful city of Prague in the Czech Republic. You're welcome to Emmanuel Akopala's podcast. In my very first episode last week, I introduced a very important topic titled The Process versus the Outcome. And in that episode, I laid down the foundation of this conversation. And the question is, why are people often get obsessed with the outcome, but do not pay a specific attention to the process? You cannot expect to achieve your goals genuinely without understanding what the process is. But there are many factors that could make people do this. And we're going to unravel all these factors in various episodes. Now, the critical question is this: why are people so much obsessed with the outcome? Why are people so much fixated with the outcome, but they do not often pay a specific attention to the process? Now, the Merriam-Webster definition of obsession simply states that it is a persistent, disturbing preoccupation with an often unreasonable idea or feeling. It defines obsession as a state in which someone thinks about someone or something constantly or frequently, especially in a way that is not normal. Obsession can also be referred to as fixation, a persistent attachment to an object or idea. Now, we must not confuse ambition with obsession. There are two different things, and I'm going to make that clarity today. Now, ambition is a desire to achieve something, a motivation. Ambition is often more positive. It's driven from inner desire to accomplish a certain objective. But obsession, on the contrary, is a compulsive or irrational preoccupation. It is an unhealthy fixation. Obsession can lead to unhealthy negative traits and should be avoided. Now the question is, what causes this obsession towards the outcome? And nobody or more people or most people are not paying attention to the process. What are those barriers? What are those impediments that makes people not to pay attention to the process? Now, before I go more into details in this aspect of our discussion, I would like to highlight something called obsessive compulsive disorder. This is not what I'm talking about in terms of obsession. Now, I'm going to explain briefly what that is. Obsessive compulsive disorder, or abbreviated as OCD, is characterized by obsessions and compulsions. OCD is an anxiety disorder that affects 2 to 3% of people in the population. It begins mostly in late childhood or early adolescence. People with OCD experience recurrent and persistent thoughts, images, or impulses that are usually unwanted. They can perform repetitive tasks or ritualistic actions that are excessive, time-consuming, and sometimes distressing. Psychological therapy, self-help techniques, and medication can help people to recover from OCD. Now, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about obsession that's driven from other extrinsic factors. Now, let's look at briefly why are people getting obsessed with the outcome. There are several factors that could lead to this. And in a different episode, I will try to systematically unravel these factors so that we can pay a specific attention to these possibilities and begin to think differently and act differently. I believe there are some external forces, external factors that could influence how people react in life. And one of them is environmental. And a society puts a lot of demand on people to act in a certain way. So one of the factors we have to consider is societal expectations. People are often chasing other people's goals because they don't even understand who they are. They do not understand the essence of their creation, why they are here. So in that sense, the society has to fill that vacuum. Remember, nature always abhors vacuum. When you do not understand the essence of your existence, if you do not know who you are, then you will be able to be doing anything that comes your way. Now, society puts a lot of pressure on people to act in a certain way. And the question is, who set the standards? Who told you those goals you are chasing are your goals? Those aspirations, those desires, are they really your goals? Society set the standard and you follow the standard because you do not even understand who you are. And this is the problem. The social media, the marketing executives, few individuals, groups of people, organizations, the elites, they drive how you behave in the society. And then in that noise around you, you drift away gradually from the essence of your existence. And they define the goals for you. They define the expectations for you. They define how you should behave and function in society. And then before you know it, you are gradually drifting away from the essence of your existence. But you cannot expect to make a change in life while you remain the same. You cannot expect to change your world while you remain the same. It's not possible. The change you're looking for must start from the inside. And when people are often in a hurry, they are desperate. They are obsessed with a particular outcome or expectation. It's because they don't even understand who they are. They are being driven by societal expectations and standards. And this can put a lot of pressure on people. And eventually they become desperate. And they can cut corners, trying to look for shorter ways to achieve their goals. And in this desperate way of trying to achieve their goals, they become obsessed with that outcome. And eventually they make a lot of mistakes. So you have to take a step backwards and begin to interrogate your mind and begin to question ideas and begin to question expectations and begin to probe perspectives and discover the true essence of your existence. The success you are looking for is always inside of you. It's never far from you. But because of the noise in society, because of the expectation in society, you tend to lose who you are. And once you lose who you are, then you cannot fulfill your goals in life. You cannot achieve those inner desires they've always longed for. So take your life back. Be in control of your decisions. Start thinking differently. Don't allow other people to drive your ambition. Don't allow the society to set the standard for you. It's always in you. That thing that makes you unique and different is always in you. Take it back. Take back your life from the society and begin to flourish and begin to manifest your true potentials. The universe is always waiting for your manifestation, but you cannot manifest fully and optimally if you do not even understand who you are. The society puts a lot of pressure on you that leads to desperation, that leads to obsession to the outcome without necessarily paying attention to the process. Some people do send me a DM on Instagram. They send me a message on Facebook because they saw my profile that I'm into academics and my experiences in the UK and Luxembourg and now in Prague, Czech Republic. And they ask me sometimes, for example, they will say, I want to study in Europe. Please, can you help me out? And oftentimes I try to explain to them the process. I take my time most of the time to tell them what they need to do, the questions they need to ask. For example, what course do you want to study? What was your first degree? What was your high school grades like? What are you passionate about? Which country do you have in mind to study? What are your objectives? I begin to tell them the processes, how to apply for school online, how to look for information on the internet, how to get the documentation required, for example, your high school grades, your BSc certificates, right? How to write personal statement, how to make your application acceptable and reasonable. I try to itemize all these steps to them, step by step. But more often than not, they don't come back to me because they expected a very quick response. They wanted it so urgently. They don't even want to listen to the process. People are always in a hurry. They don't want to understand how the process works. And true success is always tied in the process. And if you don't have the patience, the understanding to pull yourself together and follow the process, then you are bound to act in a very, very funny way that will drive you away from the real thing you're supposed to be pursuing. And this can lead to desperation and eventually obsession. And when you obsess, you're prone to make a lot of mistakes. And you can do things that are not proper in society. So you must take your life back and begin to question ideas and begin to question expectations. We're in a period of, a lot of information going out there. The social media throwing things at you at every second, every minute, daily. Computer algorithm driving your desire, driving your expectations, advertisement, social construction, social norms and expectations. These things, if you're not very careful, they can begin to reshape your ideas. They will begin to manipulate how you think and function. And before you know it, you are gradually losing your identity. You are gradually becoming somebody else. And you cannot achieve your goals if you don't understand who you are. And when you don't understand who you are, then you can go for anything. So take a step back and begin to question perspectives, and begin to question authorities, and begin to question information, and begin to question ideas, because the success you're looking for is always inside of you. So yes, society can put a lot of pressure on people, and this can influence how they reason. This can influence how they think. This can influence how they act. And this can also make them to go into this state of obsessive tendencies towards the outcome. And I tell you, you do not need to chase anybody's goals or expectations. You have to understand who you are. The talent you have is inside of you, waiting for manifestation. Surrender to your talent. Surrender to your gift. Surrender to who you are. Sharpen your skills. Sharpen your talent. And with consistency, with perseverance, you can achieve your goals. But you have to understand the process. You have to understand how the things work. And diligently, but consistently, pursue your goals. Remember, impossibility is nothing. And if you believe you can, then you can. Think about the process. Don't be in a hurry to achieve your goals. Don't be desperate. If you know who you are, then you can achieve your greatness in life. Everybody has a tendency to be great. But few people understand the process to be great. Thank you for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my podcast channel, and you can see the icon for my various social media link. My Instagram handle is inspired_Noel. Also, you can check me on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. Thank you once again for listening. Have a good day.